Okay. Round 15 out of 16. 2 rounds to go. 3 drivers left in the championship fight. I think it was still like 3 drivers since like some good time. Since maybe like round 12, not 13, maybe 14, it was 3 drivers left. But now it is officially like only 3 drivers that can really clinch the championship. And it is Tsunami in first position with 213 points in the lead. 14 points in front of Marco, who has 199 points. And then Ruggy, who is 30 points behind Tsunami in third, 183 points. Tsunami just needs to outscore Marco by, that'll be then comfortably, that'll be 13 points. Yeah, by 13 points, and it is being helped for him by the fact that there's a sprint. So, yeah, a lot easier for him to gain points, but then as well, a lot easier for the 2 horses to gain points. As of right now, Marco isn't here. I think he is gonna be here. Let's check the check-in. And yeah, he should be in here, but okay, there he is. So there's Marco, there's Ruggy, and there is Tsunami. Tsunami just needs 13 points to become a champion in Prestige. Of course, then Marco. I mean, he would need to be close with Tsunami, and then he should be fine to still keep his championship alive going into the final round. Ruggy, if he wants to keep his championship alive, he would need to get 4 points minimum to get in front of Tsunami. Now then, of course, that since there is a sprint, then the maths, the positions, it's going to be a little bit more confusing for this race. But the easy way of going things at the moment is that Tsunami needs 13 points to become champion. Marco just needs really to stay close with Tsunami. Yeah, he just needs to stay close with Tsunami. And then Rocky needs to outscore Tsunami by 4 points. And then, of course, with Marco, he cannot let him get away from him by what would that be? 16 points. Then that would be like 10 points, I believe. I'm not too sure, but anyways, something along those lines. Then later on, in the standings, Shaz in fourth with 103, Take fifth with 96, Ibrahim sixth with 93, Tom seventh with 73, eighth is DJ with 59, ninth is Jake Wakey with 38, Peligro rounds off the top 10 with 36, and then in the constructors, Haas in the lead. They just really need to. I mean, they have 387 points. McLaren second with 309, so that would make roughly 80 points. That would be roughly about 80 points, 78 points. Haas is in front of McLaren. Yeah, wishing you luck, David, in the race. So pretty much Haas just needs to finish in the good points, and then they should be fine for the constructors. Yeah, McLaren really needs a good race this one, not only from Tsunami but as well from Ibrahim, to really step up his game as well. Then later on in the constructors, it's Red Bull in third with 162. Fourth is Aston Martin with 131. 1 point in front of Mercedes, who is in fifth with 130. Then we go into positions number 6 and 7, where we find Williams and Alpine with the same amount of points. 103 points between Williams and Alpine. Them two have 103 points. 8th is Ricard with 76. 9th is Ferrari with 69. Nice. And 10th is Sauber with 23. And that is the that is the constructors. Yeah, I mean, Mercedes should overtake Aston easily. I mean, yeah, Pimerado or David, you should be easily to get. You and Sig should easily be able to overtake. That you should easily overtake Aston Martin in the constructors easily. But we'll see. We will see. Because of course on paper it might look good, but then in the race then it might look a bit different. Not always due to skill, but sometimes it is just due to luck. Sometimes just you could see that maybe in this race the Mercedes drivers are not going to get so lucky, and then the Aston Martins are going to get as lucky as Alpine did around here in real life, getting P2 and P3. And yeah, oh god, Womack's in here. So yeah, ow. So yeah, qualifying, sprint qualifying, of course. This is short sprint qualifying, just to confirm for myself. Short sprint qualifying here in Brazil. Of course, then it's just 12-minute session. Then we go into 1/3 of a race, aka a sprint race, where there's gonna be 12 laps. Then we go into the main qualifying, 18 minutes, and then from then point on it's just a normal 50% race, and then short quali. So yeah, it's nothing too crazy. It's just the beginning is going to be a bit different. Womax left the session. Lovely. Oh no, wait, because someone else took the position. Marcel, spierdalaj. So yeah, everyone is coming out on the medium tire as expected. Yeah, I mean, everyone is coming out on the mediums, besides Olaf, who is on the inters, interestingly. I mean, you only get one set of softs for this quali, for the sprint quali, so it just makes sense to use one set of mediums, because you get two sets of mediums, and one of them you could just easily use it in the qualifying, because the other one goes for the sprint race, I believe. I think. And yeah, it just makes sense a little bit more like this. So anyways, let's go, I guess, with Pimerada on a flying lap, if he's gonna be going for a flying lap. I mean, because of his ERS, he's not going for a flying lap, but he's now going. He's now turned the ERS mode on, so we will go on a full flying lap with him. First corner into the Senna SS. Maybe that second corner could have been done a bit better, but it's a banker lap, so it doesn't really matter. And it's a sprint qualifying, so again, a 17.524 from Pimerada to the first sector. Not too good, but again, this is mediums, so it doesn't really matter as much. They'll go again on the softs, Pimerada and pretty much everyone else. Besides, if anyone is on the softs, which no one is on the softs. Through turn 9, yellows, that's a Sauber. Turn 10 for Pimerada, then downhill into turn 11, and then into turn 12, 51.628, and then after turn 12, just 13, 14, 15, which are easy flat-out corners for many generations of these F1 cars. And then Pimerada crossed the line, 1:07.849, fastest of them all. Now let's see if anyone will be able to improve. There's that wasn't Tom, that was Niklas crossing the line. That's 1:07.924. Tom is getting a lovely slipstream from a Red Bull in front of him. That's Shaz. No, that wasn't. That was Michał. But Tom still only third. 1:07.971 from the Williams. Felix goes fourth. Well, now fifth. 0.8319. Lars fifth now with 0.8271. Marco expectedly goes into P1. 6/10 faster than Pimerada. So yeah, there's still Roggy and Tsunami who needs to do their times. Was there something to do with... I don't think there was any contact between Felix and Roggy, but Felix is going... Well, he is stopped on the circuit. He's literally not going for whatever reason. I mean, of course, he wants to let everyone through, but it's a bit dangerous there. Tsunami, 51.163 through the second sector. Jake goes fifth to 1:08.209. Or did I say that, or was it 11.6? But Tsunami, can he go fastest? And no, he can't. Goes P2 0.7493. But he doesn't need to clinch the title in here yet. There's still one more round to go. And of course, sprint is not really too, like, it's not too important. Anyways, but of course, would be nice to clinch the title here, because it's his real first chance. I think this is his first real chance of clinching a title in this season. I don't think he could have clinched it last round. I don't think so. So yeah, this is his, and anyways, this is his first real chance. Not some like he would need Marco to DNF and then himself to win. This is a real chance that he can win the championship. Behind Shaz goes fourth, 0.7850, 1,000 of a second behind Pimerada. Just behind him, Pimerada of course going for the softs. I mean, everyone's going to be going for the softs on the second runs. Michał in 9th, 08, well now 10th, 0.8247, as Peliwa went P8, 0.8044. Then Ruggy goes P2, 0.7316. There is John on a lap, 52.015. Is he gonna... Yes, he's gonna complete the lap. Where is he gonna go? He's gonna go P14, 0.8412. Bubunov, an incredible lap of 1:11.590. Brownie Boy as well, not a good time, but he's going for another lap immediately. Olaf still yet to do a lap. He's been having a bit of trouble with the game, crashing and whatever the reasons are, just the game not being lovely. Tig invalidated. Dragon is close to starting his lap. Wildcat is still quite far from starting a lap. Brownie Boy is improving to the first sector, of course. And, well, he hasn't invalidated yet, although he's got very low amount of ERS going into... He's used all of his ERS on the first straight and then the second straight. Goddamn, he hasn't left himself anything for the final straight. Okay. John, of course, not improving. Michał went up to P10, I believe. 08085. Brownie Boy. He's got absolutely nothing. The car is going absolutely slow. Olaf goes 4th, 07773. Brownie Boy does improve, but only by 1 position. 08780, still quite far away. Bubinov is improving, but is he going to complete the lap? Yes, he will. And let's see, where is he going to go? He's going to go P16, 08418, 6,000 of a second behind John. Tig on a lap 51.205 through the second sector. Now, Olaf did his time on the softs, whilst pretty much everyone else around him did on the mediums. Tig aborting his lap. Dragon, is he going to abort it? No, he won't. He's going to complete it. And where is Dragon going to go? He's going to go up to P9, 07976, 5,000 behind Tom. So yeah. But yeah, Olaf will probably drop down quite a lot of places, as everyone, literally everyone around him, besides Wildcat, okay? Wildcat is an outlier in here, and he goes, well, 18 to 08666. So, yeah, I mean, Olaf is going to get eaten by most of the grid. He's gonna drop down a lot of places. The question is how many places he will drop. That is another thing. So yeah, already drivers coming out of the pits on for the soft laps. Of course, the softs will gain you a fuck ton of time. See, no one really on a flying lap. I mean, the furthest one would be Lars, who is just about to start. He's getting a decent slipstream from his teammate, Dragon. So, into turn 1 with Lars. I mean, Jesus. Into the turn 1, into turn 2, and turn 3, the Senna S's. Good. Oh, he nicely opened that second corner, but we'll see how the rest of the corners will go. First sector 17.467, 110 up on his time. Not really good that first sector, but let's see what the other sectors will do. Into turn 6 and 7, into turn 8 now. Could cut that corner a bit more. Turn 9. Think closer to the left. Into turn 10. Is he going to miss the apex? A bit. He's going to miss it a bit. Into turn 11, flat out, easy flat out through here. And then into turn 12, how much is he up? Half a second up on his time. Turn 12, bit better. And then now just use all of the ERS that you have. Not immediately, but I mean, he has limited usage, as he's already hit 0 on his usage per lap. And he goes up to P407.759. But of course, everyone behind is going to improve. There is a load of people who will improve. Marco is improving to the first sector by 38,000. Yellow's in front of him. That's just a Ferrari going a bit slow. But yeah, so many drivers will improve. Felix is improving. Marco is improving by 4 tenths going into the second sector. Can he improve by more than 4 tenths? I mean, that should be pretty easy for Marco. Rocky is improving to the first sector. We can't even see it. I'll see Marco, who improves 4 tenths on his lap. The first one to go into 06 is 06825 for Marco. That is a very good lap by the Quali Merchant. Druggy, first sector, only 16,000 up on his time. Pimrada third. Tsunami, 1.5 seconds up on his side. I mean, he's gonna have a good tow from Marco. Ruggy, or no, sorry, that's Ruggy actually in front of him. So yeah, Ruggy is going to stay in front. 4.5 tenths up on his time. Ruggy is. Shaz goes P2. Tsunami only 2 tenths. 2.5 tenths up on his time. Nicholas goes P6. 07401. Ruggy, can he go provisional pole position? No, he can't. 300s behind his teammate Marco. Ibrahim in 4th. 07188. So a good time from the other McLaren as well. There's still, I think there are some others improving their times. Jake there is improving on his time, goes only P15. Dragon is improving his time, a 10th through the first sector. John 4.5 tenths through the second sector. Bubinov as well on a lap. Sean, where is he going to go? P17. Bubinov, where does he go? P17 is 0.7982, 6 thousandths behind Dragon, who is over 3 tenths up on his time. Those 3 tenths should put him behind Pelligua, unless he improves through the third sector. No, he didn't. And so he goes P10, 0.7719. But it is Marco on pole position here in the short sprint quali for the sprints. And Ruggie right behind him. But of course the two McLarens as well right behind them. So Ibrahim as well stepping up his game nicely to go P4. That should help McLaren a lot in the constructors. But I think at this point Haas don't really think about the constructors. I think they will need to focus on themselves for the drivers. Because, I mean, they just need to finish in the podium, I think, for the sprint, and that should be it. But Ibrahim can be there behind to protect Tsunami as well. But, yeah. Anyways, Marco on pole position, Rocky P2. Then 2 tenths from Rocky to Tsunami. Ibrahim 4th, Shaz 5th, Pimarada, Niklas, Tom, Pelligua, Dragon, Lars, Olaf, Felix, Mihao, Brownie, Jake, Bubinov, John, Wildcat, and Tig, who hasn't set a time. So he will do last to first. He's going to be doing what Lewis Hamilton did in 2021. He's going to try and do the same, maybe from P20 up to P5. Or, yeah, P5, then get yourself qualified P10. And then from then on, he's going to try and get P1. Maybe some controversy as well between Tig and maybe Tsunami, maybe someone else. But, you know, we'll see. But we will see what will happen in the race, in the sprint race. Of course, Tsunami can't win the championship in here, in this race. So it's just gonna be, I mean, he can win it. No, he can't. No, he can't win it. In here, in anyhow, in any shape or form, because Rocky is 30 points behind. Then there'll be 38, but then still Rocky can come back in the main race. So no, there's no possibility. So yeah, as we go onto the formation lap, everyone is gonna be on the mediums. No, okay. Dragon, Olaf, Brownie, Jake, and Wildcat on the softs, going for an interesting strategy. Let's say. I mean, the softs for the first opening laps, like let's say 5 laps, they're going to be very good compared to the mediums, and that's the point where those 5 drivers will need to go full attack mode, full bunkers, full hammer time on the first opening laps, and then after that the mediums will get equal on probably lap 6, I'd guess 6, 7 probably, and then after that softs are gonna get worse and worse, and then on the final lap the softs are gonna be off the cliff compared to the mediums in the sprint. So yeah, it's not gonna be really good for the soft runners in the end of the race, but for the beginning it should be absolutely meant. See, of course, the top 3 not really risking anything. You could have thought maybe that Marco would risk for going for the softs, try and extend the gap, extend the gap over Roggy by a second. Roggy maybe defending from Tsunami or something like that, but in the end it's just plain simple mediums all the way through. And yeah, maybe there will be some team games between the two horses, or mainly between Rocky helping out Marco at this stage of the championship. as it really needs to be. Like, one needs to be prioritized. But it's their way, what they want to do. But as we go into the 5 red lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's going lights out now in the Brazilian sprint. Marco, does he get a good start? No, he doesn't. Ruggie already side by side with him into turn 1. Ruggie, can he take the race lead? Yes, he can take the race lead. Behind Tsunami, falling down to places. The championship leader, absolute disaster of a start for him. Down to P11, fighting with Olaf, who is on the softs. But for the championship leader, this start is an absolute shambles. Outside of the points and even causing contact with Lars. That could be a penalty heading to his way as well in the sprints. In this pack, now he just needs to survive this pack. He just needs to pick out one by one everyone. Needs to be calm. He cannot really risk anything. But yet this is a total disaster for Tsunami for the sprint. Of course, there's the main race. But in the sprint, he just cannot allow this gain for Ruggie and Marco in the... Like... They just cannot allow it for anything. They just cannot allow it for anything. And I think, by math, this result at the moment on track would mean that Haas would be crowned constructors champions, I think, but it's more safe to say it in the race if they get a good result. Tsunami is getting overtaken by Felix at the moment. He's dropped it to P11, but Felix is defending with Tsunami, as usual, poor usage of ERS or management of ERS, as there's Brownie going off the circuit. Down to P14. Jake has damage, but there's a bit of contact between them as Brownie rejoins. Jake sending it down inside into turn 8. Contact between them. Jake tried to go for a risky send, and now Olaf is overtaking him. Olaf on the inside. Can he get the overtake done? Of course, Jake has a little bit more downforce, but did get a good run on the outside. And he's up to P15. But let's go back to the top drivers. The two Haas's just need to work together, and I think they just need to prioritize Marco a bit more. I mean, of course, in the sprint race, I said about prioritizing Marco, but he makes a mistake himself. So Marco bottling the race lead by zone. I think I might have some sort of a curse on me recently, because I mean on Friday as well I was watching some dude driving, and then every single time that I was watching him, he was flipping doing something. Like with Marco, I was saying that they need to prioritize Marco, but Marco decides to bottle it into turn 1, completely missing the line. As Tsunami, what the hell is he doing on the grass? Almost taking out Felix in the process. What is happening with our top 2 drivers in the championship? They just lost it. I don't know what the hell is going on with our top 2 drivers in the standings, but they just lost their ability to race apparently. One is making a mistake, the other one got spun round, I believe, and then whatever was that, through turn 10. But Ruggie, this is absolutely meant for Ruggie. He is adamant, gaining 7 points on Marco, on his teammate, and he's gaining full 8 points on the championship leader Tsunami. So the 30-point gap to Tsunami goes down to 22 points. So this is absolutely perfect for Ruggie. I mean, Ruggie didn't have a good couple of races since Australia, when he got his last win, as Lars has flipping hell gone into a wall. I was trying to do something else, but my flipping controller decided to go to Lars. Shaz is gonna go for the overtake on Rocky. Yes, he will. Sending it down inside, not really sending it, but it going down inside, and he goes up to P1. Rocky P2, but Rocky, can he come back into turn number 4? He doesn't really need to do it. He's not in a big rush. In the meantime, behind, Marco has overtaken Dragon as he gets overtaken by Tig. Yeah, Tig! What is he doing? What kind of a place to go for it was that? Tig just keeping his tire, his wing on the side by side with Marco. Tig was no way in hell entitled for any sort of space, but he was still there. And yeah, Marco unfortunately kind of turned in on him. I mean, of course, not really fault of Marco, but Marco, at the moment, he's not scoring any points. Our 2 championship leaders, or the top 2 in the championship standings, haven't had a good sprint at all in Brazil. Rocky, is he going for the overtake on Shaz? Yes, he does. He's going down inside into turn 1. Now, of course, we'll see maybe Shaz going back at him into turn 4. Is he gonna go for it? Is he not? I mean, they don't really need to do anything stupid at this stage of the race. Shaz not going for it. Staying back. Just thinking of the race. The race is still, well, 6 laps to go. 7 laps to go. Tsunami, pretty much at this point, we can say that he's not really getting points. Unless 2 drivers in front are gonna crash out. I'm not really talking about Marco and Dragon, but anyone really in front. The 2, maybe Tom and Tig. I called it. Somewhat I called it. There's a bit of contact between Tig and Tom. They lost a bit of time. But let's go back to Shaz and Rocky. Them 2 go in a bit for the 1 and 2s. Shaz probably going for the overtake. Easy overtake on Rocky. Not really using his DRS. And yes, that is P1 for Shaz. Pimrada as well, kind of looking at it. Rocky on the outside. He's going to have side by... He's a bit compromised going into turn 2. Pimrada right behind him. Pimrada could think of a move, but he's not going for it. He doesn't want to go for the overtake, so he stays P3. Rocky thankfully stays P2. Tig, by the way, who started P20, is up to P6 in front of Tom. So, yeah, he's having an absolute amazing sprint here in Brazil. He's literally doing what Hamilton was doing in the sprint as well in 2021. The opposite can be said with Marco and Tsunami. Marco bidding it on his own once, and then the other one, Tig, kind of pushed him off once, and then Tsunami kind of the same. Depends what he did in like cutting the turn 9. Lucky that he didn't get a penalty for it. But that is Peliguas spun into turn 12. Interesting. But in the lead, Rocky gets overtaken by Pimrada. Pimrada kind trying to get that P2, but he does get re-overtaken going into turn 2. Rocky kind of needs to defend himself a bit more. Pimrada using the ERS. Rocky the same, but Pimrada is on the inside. Rocky on the outside. They're still side by side. Jake gets a 3-second time penalty. I thought for a second that was Rocky. Rocky staying back. So he goes down to P3, but now he knows that Pimrada is a bit down on ERS as Ibrahim just goes into the back of him. Maybe there was as well something with Niklas going into the back of Ibrahim, and Ibrahim just with that just went in the back of Rocky. But anyways, Rocky got a bit compromised from that, but now Niklas, Tig and Ibrahim are fighting for that P4. This is costing him quite badly. It's just with the DRS. I mean, they will get the DRS. No, they will not get the DRS. Niklas doesn't have the DRS. Tig, of course, has the DRS on Niklas. Niklas, like I said, doesn't have, so he will get absolutely eaten. Well, by Tig, Ibrahim, and almost Tom, but of course the 2 Williamses don't want to really fight that much. Of course, the 2 teammates makes sense. So yeah, Pimrada has taken the race lead from Chaz, but the problem with Pimerada is that he's got very, very little amount of VRS compared to Chaz, who has 40%, and Rocky, who has got 90% of VRS. He's absolutely loaded up for that final lap, and for defending from anyone take behind and attacking in the front for Chaz and Pimerada. Mainly Pimerada, I would be assuming, or just trying to go both, of course. Behind, Marco is catching up to this pack, 1.1 seconds. He's of course trying to do damage limitation in this race. Does he get the DRS? I think he will, just about, from the Williamses. Yes, he will. So he is in this DRS train. Let's go back to the top. Rocky, Chaz, does he go for the overtake on Pimerada? No, it doesn't. Tig from behind overtakes Rocky, but Chaz going very slow into turn 1. Rocky loses the position to Tig. Rocky, did he use ERS? No, he really didn't. Tig used all of his ERS to get in front of Tig. Rocky now will use all of his ERS, or most of his ERS, to get on Tig, but Tig forces him off the circuit into the grass. And, well, Rocky stays in P4 at the moment. I think the strategy for Rocky to kind of just... whatever the strategy of Rocky is not really working. As, well, he was in the lead in the P2, in the P3, now he's down to P4. He's got, of course, superior amount of VRS, sending it down inside into turn 10 on Tig. Side by side with him, they're still going side by side. Side by side, still into turn 12, a bit of contact into turn 12. Tig will run him out wide a bit. Ibrahim going for the switchback, and Rocky drops down to P15. This is even worse for Rocky. This is what he kind of has a problem, and he doesn't have that much ERS anymore, and he might get even overtaken by Nicholas. Almost takes out Nicholas. Jesus Christ, that was a radical move into there, and there's a three-way contact into turn 1. Rocky, Ibrahim all made contact into there. I think Rocky was a bit squeezed there, but Ibrahim will try and get back at him, and yes, he will. Rocky doesn't have that much ERS, he's not using it. And there was Tom, Ibrahim overtaking each other. Tom being taken out by Ibrahim and Marco. Tom off the circuit. Tsunami will get points as he did overtake Dragon. What the fuck is this, all this racing? Jesus Christ. And now the two Mercedes are fighting one Red Bull. This is quite 2021, isn't it? Or 2020. More like 2021, I mean, mainly, whatever. Pimerada's got loads of VRS, Tig as well, loads of VRS, Chaz as well, loads of VRS. Chaz making a bit of a mistake on the extra turn 12, this will a bit compromise his speed going into turn 1. Pimerada, will he go for the overtake into turn 1? He's using a lot of his VRS, and he is going for the overtake into turn 1. Tig is trying to go from last to first in this race, but of course, there were some moments where he could get penalties. For instance, the contact between himself and Marco, he got a penalty for that. Yellow's behind, but that's Lars. Tig and Pimerada just working together. They don't need to do anything stupid. Ibrahim in 4th. So this is good for McLaren, for the championship as well, to keep the constructors a bit more alive. Marco, at the moment, will only gain 1 point on Tsunami. Rocky will only gain 3. So, the beginning of the race, on lap 1, it looked like Marco and Rocky could gain a lot of points on Tsunami, but then both of them just kind of bottled it. Marco especially. But yeah, anyways, going into the final straight, out of turn 12 and 13, I think it's going to be Pimerada, although Tig, I think, has a bit more ERS, but Pimerada is going to win the Brazilian Sprint Grand Prix. It is a Mercedes 1 and 2 here in Brazil. Tig from last to second, Pimerada from 6th to 1st. What a race for the two Mercedes. Chaz as well rounds off the podium, so that's very good for the Red Bull driver. Ibrahim 4th, Rocky disappointed in 5th. I mean, that's a pretty good bet that I could put on. And then Marco, whatever he did on that to turn 1, I mean, I don't know. But anyways, P7. Tsunami rounds up the point ping positions in P8. Then it's Dragon, Tom, Felix, Bubinov, Brownie Boy, Miho, John, Olaf, Wildcat, and Lars in P18. Not last, P18, as Jake and Peligua DNF'd in the from the race. They just pressed the button. But yeah, I mean, drivers they easily take from last to second. Of course, there could be penalties heading his way. What he did to Marco, and then I think there was one other instance. But anyways, Ruggy, most importantly, Ruggy gains 3 points on Tsunami. Marco only 1. So that's now 14 points that Tsunami needs for Marco. Ruggy needs to outscore a bit more points. But anyways, the 2 Mercedes, absolutely lovely. Especially Pimeralda from 6th up to 1st. Nothing wrong. Clean race. P1. Got it. Shaz P3 as well. He could get P2 since Tig and his small bit of terrorism. But anyways, he could get demoted down to whatever position. Of course, for Ruggy and Marco would be ideal that he would be between Marco and Tsunami, but we'll see. We'll see if he will get even reported. But now we go into the main qualifying. I'll do one thing. Quick sec. Had to take my hoodie off because it's getting a bit warm in my own room. No one came out of the pit, so that was pretty much perfect timing. As I mean, the 12 laps were already kind of intense in terms of how much I had to talk constantly on all that. But this is going to be 36 laps. Is going to be pretty insane. We have our first driver out on track, and that's Felix. Out on the circuit. On the softs. Then another one is going to be an Alpine of Olaf on the mediums. Then another of Bubinov on the mediums. And then it's just going to be more and more frequent leaves from the pits. Of course, some people are discussing in the Discord about the sprint. A few things. So they're not gonna come out immediately. The 2 Norwegian brothers coming out at the same time. Both of them on the mediums as well. Yeah. This is what Jake coming out. Those one of the Mercedes. I think it was Pimeralda coming out. But yeah, I guess let's go with Felix on a flying lap, since he is the first one on a flying lap. Into turn 1. I mean, I'm not expecting Felix to be the quickest. It's just that, let's see his driving compared to like some others. Like we looked at, I think that was Marco or Pimeralda on the lap 17.455 for Felix into turn 1. Nah, first sector, sorry. Yeah, let's see how Felix does on the lap. Hopefully doesn't invalidate. 7th gear. Went through 7th gear into turn 7. Pretty interesting. 6, sorry. This is turn 9. Then up the hill into turn 10. I think he can carry a bit more speed, at least through turn 10. Second sector 51.608. I think as well the same through turn 12. I think he can carry a bit more speed through the corners, just in general. But yeah, Felix is going to go first, of course, as he is the first one to complete his flying lap, and that's going to be an 07848. Decent lap as a first one. Not particularly the worst one. We have seen worse ones. Tom on a lap. There's Bubinov on a lap. Yes, that is. He's quite far off. 08.369. Of course, he's on the meters, but still quite far off. Then at the back we have Michał on a out lap. Then that's gonna be Brownie Boy as one on an out lap. I think we can easily go to like Tom, who is the first of the Norwegian brothers. Of his seconds with his second sector, we can assume that he's gonna be maybe P3 actually. Yeah, P3. Niklas invalidated his time. Pimeralda goes P1, 07.620. Good lap from the Spaniard. Lars third, 07.965. Jake went last with 08.505. Brownie's teammate John is on a lap. Yes, he is 51.565 through the second sector. There's open. Turn 15. I mean, pretty much just a straight. And John goes up to P4. 08.013 from the V-carb. That is Rocky starting his lap, but that's on the inter tire. Michał goes P3, 07.881. Olaf 7th, 08.147. 4,000 behind Tom. And then Brownie Boy goes P9, 08.371. 2,000 behind Bubinov. Rocky, of course, on the medium inter tire, so he's not going to be setting any sort of world records in here to get invalidated. So no, really, we don't have anyone really on a lap. Of course, there's Rocky, but he's on the inters. So no, really, yeah. Yeah, Shaz as well invalidated through the first sector. And Marco maybe on a lap. Yes, he is on a lap, close to invalidating through turn 2, but good that he didn't. First sector, what's it gonna be from Marco? 17.347 through the first sector. Nicely done. Into turn 5. Then up the hill into turns 6 and 7. Sorry. The double right-hander, then into turn 8, heavy braking. Could have got that corner a bit more, I believe. Then into turn 9, nicely kept on the left. Up the hill into turn 10. Locking up quite a bit, but good speed. Into turn 11, easy flat out. Second sector 51.262, so a good lap in the making. That should be P1. And then on the exit of turn 12, just flat out. Use all of your ERS as you can. There's open. Don't invalidate on this final corner. And then Marco P1 07.222. 4 tenths in front of Pimeralda. Pretty much the same. I mean, he did the faster time in the sprint, but anyways. Or no, he did a slower time in the sprint on the mediums. But anyways, a good time by Marco and his P1. Wildcats on the lap 17.444. So decent lap as well from him as well to the first sector. Bubinov to the first sector. Let's see what his first sector is gonna be like. Previous lap on the medium, so quite a good improvement. No, actually not that big of an improvement. 29 thousandths only. That is a comparison to his medium time. Of course, the first sector is really 3 corners. The third corner is really just flat out, so it's not like you're gonna gain massive amount of time, or you should, to be fair. 51.700 by Wildcat through the second sector, and now it's just flat out. There's open as well, and then just close to left. I mean, you should stay to the left, but you didn't, and he goes P9. Bubinov, in the meantime, is improving by 6 tenths through the second sector, so he's improving his time by quite a lot. Quite a good amount of time. And then into the finish line. What's it gonna be? A P3 for Bubinov, 07821. A good, not even good, a great improvement compared to sprint. His sprint was like into like I think 08, maybe very high 07s, but here he did an 07821. I think that he did like 079. A very high 079, so a good time from Bubinov anyways, at least for now. Anyone else on a lap? Ibrahim, of course, on a lap. 51.454 through the second sector, should be in front of Bubinov. And yes, he is into P2, 07508. But of course, that's on the softs. There's Pimeralda, who can improve. For example, who did his previous time on the mediums. Lars, Tom, Olaf, Brownie and Jake. Although, to be fair, I don't expect Jake to get anywhere near close to Ibrahim. But anyways, he can still improve. Then there is maybe Tig on a lap, and he is, but that was not the Mercedes I was looking for. That was Pimerada, who's now starting his time. Tsunami maybe finishing his time. It looks like he is finishing his time on the softs. It didn't get the slipstream from Sauber, and he's gonna go P1, and no, he doesn't. Only P2 for Tsunami on the softs. 07339 from Tsunami. I mean, he has more time on the lap. We know it because we saw in the sprint qualifying that he had a lot more time. Pimerada improving to the first second by 2/10. Let's look at Tig. Where does he go? P3 07474, and that's on a medium, so that's a very good time from Tig. Pimerada, like I said, 2/10 up on his time through the first sector. Second sector, how much is he gonna improve? Is only 3/10. Didn't gain that much time through the second sector actually, compared to like the first sector where he gained 2/10. So maybe a mistake on the previous lap through the first sector. Niklas goes P5. What? Did he just go there? I don't even know. But Pimerada, he loses a ton of time through the third sector, and only improves just about in front of Niklas. 07551 by Pimerada. That was a pretty good first sector, but then just all of a sudden third sector just like still an improvement, but in third sector just absolute disappointment. He lost 1.5 seconds, 1.5 tenths through the third sector all of a sudden. So that wasn't a good time by Pimerada compared to his like first and second sectors. Peligua goes P8 07730. Lars as well in the meantime went P7 07689. Behind maybe Olaf starting a lap, yes that is. Jake starting a lap, yes that is. Ruggy on his flying laps with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. There is open, not much ERS to the end, but still something, and Ruggy goes P1 107.186, and that's provisional pole position from Ruggy. But here is Marco, the quali merchant that I like to call him always. First sector, how much is he going to be improving? 49 thousandths up on his time through the first sector alone, and that would put him already on provisional pole position in front of Ruggy. But of course, his previous time was on the mediums. Now he's going on the softs, so he can really improve on his time compared to his medium time. So there's easy time on the board through the second sector and all the corners really throughout the lap. Second sector, how much is he going to be improving? 2.5 tenths up on his time. So far he's going for a 0.6 minute time, and can he keep that pace up to go into the 0.06s? Here in Brazil, he already did it once, and he doesn't do it twice. Goes P1 anyways, but with a 0.7080 from Marco, a 10th in from Ruggy. There's something with that third sector that's just all of a sudden they don't have. I don't know what is that with the third sector. Just Pimerada and losing 1.5 tenths, and Marco as well losing a 10th through there, but maybe just their ERS management, how they did that. Or I don't know, maybe maybe something with the game. Who knows? The game can be so dodgy. In the meantime, Shaz went P3, 07235. Olav as well in P9, 07688, 1000 a second in front of Lars. Anyone else? I mean, Wildcats is on a lap. It looks like he is on a lap. The air is open. First sector, is he gonna improve? No, he doesn't. 53,000 down on his time. His previous time was on the used softs. Now he's on a brand new set of softs. Brownie Boy as well on a lap. Jake as well will be starting his lap. Let's see what Brownie Boy is gonna do through the first sector. Is he gonna improve? No, he doesn't. 77,000 down his time. Wildcat through turn 9 and up the hill into turn 10. And then down the hill into turn 11 and turn 12. Yellows, that's for Brownie Boy for whatever reason. Wildcat up on his time by 1.5 tenths. Brownie Boy, is he on a lap? No, he's not on a lap. He's abandoned it. Wildcat, can he improve on his time? I mean, I think, I would hope so that he does improve. And he does improve, but not his position. Stays P18, 08058. Jake is on his lap. We don't know how much was he improving to the first sector. Let's see what his second sector is going to be. Soon we'll see the rest of the grid coming out. We have Lars coming out. Or no, that's actually Wildcat, as Jake was improving half a second up on his time, but makes a mistake through the second sector. Took a bit too much. Well, tried to take a bit too much of the space on the right. Hit the grass. And that's his lap done. And maybe his qualifying as well done. Not because of time, but because of, well, really, the tires. Brownie Boy is improving to the first sector by 1.5 tenths, so that's good from him. But yeah, Jake might be starting P20 in Brazil, which would be quite a bit of a shame. We have more and more cars out on circuit. We have the two horses out on the circuit. Ruggy just behind Brownie Boy, and then Marco just into turn 4. Of course, Slipstream will be a good part, a key into this qualifying as well. Since the Slipstream can really improve your time by quite a lot, especially on this final straight, final main straight, start finish straight, whatever. Brownie Boy improves his time up to P17, 07910. Only P17 unfortunately for him. John is not really improving. So I guess let's look at a flying lap from Rocky, as he's the furthest one out of the top drivers, and he's not on a lap. He's not on a lap. Marco, maybe he would be on a lap. I mean, he's using his ERS. He's using his ERS, so I think, I would believe that he'll be on a lap. And yes, he is on a lap, maybe. It looks like that he is on a lap. Yes, he is on a lap. So let's see what his lap will be through the first sector. Can he improve his first sector? Yes, he can. Half a tenth up on his time, 17.244 through the first sector. That's a good improvement for now. Dragon goes up to P6, 07505, 3000 in front of Ibrahim. There's still Tig who did his time on the mediums. The rest have done on the softs, besides Jake. Marco through turn 10, down a hill into turn 11. The bump could have cost him maybe little bit of time. Second sector, 37,000 up on his time, but I think he has a lot of time through this third sector, where he lost a lot of crucial time on his final or his previous time. Can he improve his personal pole position time? Yes, he can, and it goes into those 06s, 06900 for Marco, and he extends his pole position time to almost 3 tenths in front of Ruggy. But there's still Ruggy on a lap, who gets a brilliant slipstream from the McLaren in front of him, who is Ibrahim. Pimarada is off the circuit, but he did his time, and he's up to P3's 07205. Shaz is not improving. Tsunami's getting a lovely slipstream from the Mercedes in front of which is Tig as well. Roggy's second sector, how much is it going to be up? 96,000, only 2,000 up on his time through this second sector. Let's look at Tsunami. Can he go maybe personal pole position or up there? He goes P2, 07083. Tig in P7. Roggy, can he go in front of Tsunami? He goes better than that. He goes P1, at least for now. And I don't think anyone will really beat him, because there's no one really competitive enough to beat that time. The only ones that are on a lap maybe is Felix and Bubinov. Marco is done with his time. Pimerolo is done with his time. So it is Roggy on pole position here for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it beats his teammates by just 5 thousandths of a second. But most importantly, the two horses are in front row. Hopefully they don't do the same thing as they did. Hopefully they don't do the same thing as they did in the sprint, where Marco bottled it into turn 1, starting lap 2, and then Roggy just, I don't know what he did, but poor strategy, I guess, to let someone through and all that. But anyways, in both qualies, both horses are on pole position and on the front row. I think the difference is that in the first one, in the sprint quali, Marco was in front of Roggy. This time, Roggy is in front of Marco. And this is beautiful news. This is a beautiful start for the race. But, as we saw in the race, even though your main championship rival might be in a bit of shambles after lap 1, it doesn't mean that you cannot be in the shambles. And that's exactly what happened to Marco and kind of to Roggy. But for Roggy, it was mainly his problem, his poor strategic way of defending and attacking. So yeah, the game is not gonna probably give me the bloody results. So yeah, it didn't. So okay, the flipping fans are going at it already. They just saw the cars and they're already passing out apparently, even though the cars are just standing there. But anyways, now on to the main race. It's sunny with a bit of clouds, but mainly sunny out here in Sao Paulo. And yeah, now we just wait for the formation lap, then the 2 minutes of formation lap, and then the 5 red lights. And we'll see, maybe we could see Tsunami being crowned champion here in Brazil. He needs to outscore Marco by 14 points. And then, yeah, just not let Roggy be in front of him. As we go into the formation lap, the fans finally calm down. And let's see, Roggy on the hards. The two horses are on the hard combat tires. They are thinking a bit different. Tsunami is the only one out of the top 6 to go for the medium tire. There's Tig as well on the hards, Ibrahim and Tsunami for the mediums. The rest are on the mediums. So from 9th position downwards are on the mediums. Roggy and Mark of course can work together, but that can be as well that they're gonna get double stacked, and they could be prone for a safety car. If there's gonna be a safety car in the opening laps, let's say like lap 6, 7, they're gonna be kind of screwed, because those mediums, well, they ain't making it. Let's say that they aren't really making it till the end. Or if they will be in absolute shambles. Come past like lap 30. So yeah, So yeah, let's see. Let's see what the horses can do. Let's see what Tsunami can do. Hopefully Tsunami won't be taken out immediately into turn 1, lap 1. And then hopefully the two horses are gonna... If that happens, then hopefully they kinda will capitalize on that mistake. Not that I don't like Tsunami or anything, just that, you know, I don't want to see it. Like, literally, you have your championship rival, the one who leads the championship by 14 points in front of you, literally gets taken out, and then you decide lap later, let's spin again. Let's do it the same with me. And then Roggy makes horrible decisions on the attacking and defending. But okay, let's go to the 5 red lights, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights with the lights out. Now, and we're here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Marco yet again, a horrible start, at Tsunami already in front of Marco going into turn 1, way past into turn 1, 3 wide into turn 1 between Marco, Pimerada and Shaz. Shaz off the circuit completely. The top 3 in the standings or in the top 3 in the race as well. Marco already again a terrible start of the line. Tsunami just using those mediums way better, and I think just Marco got a terrible reaction of the start, and he dropped down immediately behind Tsunami down to P3 even before we got into turn 1. But okay, Ruggy did get a good start, but now he needs to worry about Tsunami, not his teammate Marco. Cannot work with his teammate Marco now that nicely. Of course, they need to watch out from the cars behind. Ibrahim will not be kindful to any of the Haas drivers. So, you know, Ibrahim will kind of try and play the dirty game. He will try and get in front of Pimerada as he is on the mediums. And he does go for the overtake on Pimerada. And he is in front of Pimerada, so he is up into P4. Right in front of him is Marco. Now, of course, I don't want Ibrahim to take out Marco or Ruggy on purpose, because if that happens, then pretty much, Ibrahim is going to get himself removed from the league. That's first of all. Second of all, you could think as well that the McLarens are going to get flipping removed, because that was deliberate. But it then depends... did Tsunami say it, or was it just Ibrahim working on his own to help out Tsunami, sacrificing himself so that Tsunami would have a better way of driving till the end of this race? But so far right now, of course, Tsunami will not be crowned champion, but Ibrahim, where is he? Oh, I was looking at Ruggy. But so far right now it is not Tsunami champion, but of course the race is flipping still 34 laps long, so it's not like the race is halfway through. It's literally still 34 laps to go now. Ibrahim, is he gonna send it down inside? Yes, he does send it down inside. Dives down inside into turn 1, but Marco had a better run on the outside as well. Ibrahim had a bit of oversteer on the apex, and Marco did get his position back. Although, I mean, both of them are pretty low in ERS. So now Ibrahim will be able to attack a bit more easily on Marco. Marco will not be able to defend himself with ERS. But to be fair, it goes both ways. But anyways, Ibrahim maybe sending it down inside into turn 8. Yes, he does think it. Marco just kind of ignores him. Somehow there wasn't, contact enough that would spin around Ibrahim. Ibrahim sends it down inside into turn 10 and does get the move job done, and he's up to P3 helping out his teammate Tsunami. Yellow's behind, that's Jake Spawn. No fronting damage for him. It seems like he just spun it on his own, but to be fair, there's a lot of drivers like in this one DRS train, so it really can be anyone who did that. But anyways, Ruggy, is he gonna overtake Tsunami? No, he doesn't. He needs to watch out from the risk from behind, which is Tsunami. Ibrahim, sorry. Ibrahim already overtook Marco. Ibrahim will try and go for the overtake on Ruggy at some point this race. Ibrahim doesn't have that much ERS. Ruggy has 100% of ERS. Tsunami has 40%. Rocky is playing this at the moment smartly. Walt got already 3-second time penalty, but from what we saw in the sprint race, that conservative drive was a bit too conservative from Rocky, and just didn't work out for him. Of course, Marco will need to watch out for Ibrahim maybe slowing him down. Then that would mean that he would lose the DRS to the top two. But of course, since Rocky is up there, then Rocky would try and do the same thing with Tsunami to slow him down. And yeah, we'll see how this race will pan out between the two McLarens and the two Haas's, as they are both in the top 4. Rocky goes for the overtake on Tsunami into turn 1. Doesn't get him so smoothly into turn 1, but still does a good line into turn 1. Now Tsunami, will he go for the overtake, re-overtake into turn 4? No, he doesn't. He just stays P2. In the meantime, behind, Pimeralda overtakes Marco, and Marco does get overtaken by Pimeralda. Now, if Tsunami would get that P1 back, then that would mean that Tsunami would be champion, because Tsunami would be in P1, 25 points, Marco P5, that would be 15-point difference between Marco and Tsunami. And of course, since Tsunami would be the winner, that would mean that then that would mean that Rocky cannot catch up to Tsunami, and so that would be meaning Tsunami would be champion. But still a long race to really say anything. We can really speculate about this midway through the race, as Tsunami goes for the overtake on Rocky, as Ibrahim will try and go for the overtake as well on Tsunami. Rocky defends around the outside, so Ibrahim will try and get a bit of a better exit, but he didn't. Right behind him is Pimeralda, but he's not really right behind him anymore. But good defending from Rocky to not to allow Tsunami go ahead, but not allowing Ibrahim to go ahead, which was fantastic for Rocky. Ibrahim is right behind, Pimeralda is right behind Ibrahim. Maybe a cheeky sent down inside, no he doesn't, as Ibrahim defends into turn 8, compromising his line into turn 8 of course, but doesn't really lose anything, as expected. The whole grid is in one single DRS train, well, except one. Except one. Well, okay. The whole grid is in one DRS train now. Yeah, we can obviously say that the whole grid is in one big DRS train. As Rocky goes to the right, overtakes Tsunami, and that should be an easy overtake. Yes, that is an easy overtake for Rocky on Tsunami. Now again, will Tsunami go for the overtake on Tsunami into turn 4? I don't think so, and he doesn't go for it. No, he doesn't. So Rocky keeps the P1, but now Rocky will need to be cautious into turn 1 again, the same way. Because again, Tsunami and Ibrahim will try and be as close as possible to Rocky come the exit out of turn 12. And yeah, just try and get both McLarens in front of Rocky. So then the two McLarens can work together as well. Maybe Ibrahim will be blocking the rest of the pack, allowing Tsunami to just run away by his own. But Advent, it looks like the gap might be a bit too big for doing that. Tsunami, of course, is using a bit of that DRS to try and catch up to Rocky. But behind Ibrahim, Pimeralda is trying to get his way past. Ibrahim has nowhere to go as he is blocked by Pimeralda. And Rocky, does he defend his P1? Yes, he does. Pimeralda as well around the outside of turn 2. Does get Ibrahim. Marco, can he get Ibrahim? Ibrahim doesn't have that much DRS. The same with Marco, doesn't have that much DRS. Marco around the outside. Tsunami gets Rocky. Marco, does he overtake Tsunami? Yes, he does overtake Tsunami around the outside of turn 4. Bit of unusual place to overtake around the outside. But anyways, he did get the job done in front of Ibrahim. And now he can work a bit more together with his teammates. Shaz gets a 3 second for cutting a corner, as behind there's total shambles of 3-1 into turn 10. Jesus, and Olaf just gets absolutely fucked by whoever was that. But now there's a hole from between P6 and P7. Dragon doesn't have the DRS, so he'll get eaten by Niklas. Let's go back to the front as Ruggy overtakes Tsunami. Does Pimeralda as well overtake Tsunami? Yes, he does. Pimeralda maybe on Ruggy as well into turn 1, into turn 2. I mean, Pimeralda will get a great exit out of that. I mean, he's close. He's very close. Tsunami could maybe even look for an overtake. Ruggy is trying to kind of defend, but Pimeralda does get him into turn 4. Ruggy defends around the outside, which is brilliant defending from Ruggy. They're still going side by side. Ruggy has the inside of turn 6 and 7, and that should be able to keep his P1. No, it doesn't. Pimeralda is thinking about the inside. Ruggy did leave in space. Tiniest bit of contact I think there was, but I think it was mainly because Pimeralda just lost it on his own. But the contact was very minimal between Ruggy and Pimeralda. But Pimeralda and Ruggy are cooking in this race, in the main race. They're doing a fantastic job. As well, at this point on, those mediums are going to be a bit running away from the performance what the Hearts are giving. Pimeralda easily overtakes Ruggy. Does Tsunami as well overtake Ruggy down inside into turn 1? Yes, he does go for it. And very good overtake into turn 1. Block pass made by Tsunami, and he's up into P2. Ruggy got double overtaken by Tsunami. Does he get overtaken by his teammate? Ruggy's defending from his teammates. Marco is getting attacked by Tig now around the outside. Does Tig get Marco? This is a bit interesting from the two horses. They're not really playing team game. And so Tig overtakes Marco into turn 6 and 7. Brownie Boy left the session, so he's out of the Grand Prix. In the meantime, behind, from P6 to P7 gap has been healed. This time now the gap from P12 to P13 is a bit larger. Same thing with P17 down to P18 is a bit larger, but Wildcat is going a bit slow. Could that be because... lag from Wildcat, or could be as well me. But Olaf is losing a lot of places. Mistake through turn 12, he's off the circuit, and he's down to P17. In the process, Ruggy not overtaking Tsunami, just saving ERS. Of course, doesn't want to go into the back of Tsunami. That would be absolute disaster. Olaf into the pits. Is he going to retire there? Yes, he does. And so that's 3 cars out of the race. Dick just all of a sudden looked like he braked mid straight. Just lost a lot of time. Just the car went back a bit. Looked like it. But anyways, Tig still in P4. Maybe cheek it down inside. No, he doesn't. But yeah, the two Mercedes are absolutely cooking in this race. Wildcat has left the session. Felix, a 3-second time penalty for him. Yeah, the two Mercedes are absolutely cooking in this race. Maybe not in qualifying. In qualifying, they haven't been cooking as much. But in the race, they have been cooking absolutely superbly. 1 and 2 in the sprints. In the main quali, 4th and 8th. But in the main race, they are cooking as well. P1 and P2 so far. As we're starting lap 12 out of 36. Tsunami, does he go down inside? Yes, he does go down inside on Pimeralda. Pimeralda, well, does he get a good exit out of turn 2? No, he doesn't, really. But he could have a go on Tsunami into turn number 4, as behind Tig is as well trying to attack Ruggy on the inside. Ruggy defends around the outside. Pimeralda is of course helping Tig a bit to hold up Ruggy. This is absolutely fantastic for Tsunami, as Tsunami is in the championship winning position as of right now. Marco down in P5, Ruggy in P4. I mean, it doesn't matter where Ruggy is, as long as Tsunami wins the race. It doesn't matter where Ruggy is. Marco needs to be P5 in the race. And that way, Tsunami will win the championship here in Brazil. But the race, as I've been saying way too much this race, the race is still very long at this stage of the Grand Prix, and he could lose 2 positions, maybe even 3 positions to both the Mercedes, and maybe even to Roggy down inside into turn 1. Roggy goes yellows into turn 1, of course, because of the V-carb. And 10 seconds for Felix for speeding the pits. Roggy, will he get Tsunami? I mean, he was as well a bit defending from his teammate Marco. But Tsunami got double overtaken by the 2 Mercedes, and the 2 Mercedes are back in 1 and 2 formation, as we had them in 1 and 2 in the sprint race as well. This is absolutely fantastic for the 2 Mercedes. I mean, the 2 Mercedes have had an absolutely superb race pace for whatever reason. I mean, Tig is quick, but Pimeralda, recently his pace has been a bit lacking from what I've seen. But this race, he's absolutely cooking. By the way, could you say, is that you Wildcat or I'm assuming that's you Wildcat. I have no clue who you are, Alex. I have absolutely no clue who you are. I'm assuming you're Wildcat. But anyways, Tig overtakes Pimeralda, just an easy swap. Okay, easy swap between the 2 Mercedes. Behind Lars goes into the pits. 13 laps on those mediums. Felix tried to go for the undercut as well. On the other rest of the pack, but he got a 10-second time penalty, so that will demote him quite a bit, unless there's going to be a safety car. So then he's going to have some sort of realistic chance of trying to get a few positions back. But anyways, behind Nicholas and Shaz are fighting for P7, both of them on the hards. This will increase the gap to the cars in front. The gap is just about 9 tenths. Ibrahim is as well just about keeping in that 1 second, but it seems like Shaz is gonna get the DRS unless he makes a mistake. No, he doesn't, so he gets it. Pimeralda is gonna overtake Tig as formation. Tsunami could maybe think on overtake. Roggy is thinking of an overtake on Tsunami around the outside. Maybe that was a close with Graz into turn 1, into turn 2. It was a bit close between Roggy and Tsunami. Roggy had to back out of it. Tom, in the meantime, into the pits. Tsunami has absolutely no ERS. Roggy has a bit more ERS. Roggy just kind of goes into the back of Tsunami. Maybe as well Tsunami kind of moved on Tsunami, on Roggy, mid-straight. But that is going to be down to the FIA to review. This is of me going off memory, and my memory, I mean, at this fast-paced thing, is not going to be good. I mean, I'm not going to remember picture perfect everything. There was a bit of contact between Roggy and Tsunami, apex of turn 9. Again, apex of turn 10 now. Bit of contact. Those mediums are a bit falling off compared to the hards. On lap 15 out of 36, this would be the point where the medium runners are going to pit. Something around here. Tsunami, does he pit? No, he doesn't yet. Maybe be behind someone. Ibrahim does pit. In front, the 2 Mercedes switch places. As always, Ibrahim gets a 10-second, and the Dragon gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. That's a very easy thing to do, as we saw with Felix as well. So 3 drivers who have already gotten 3-second time penalties. Lars retired on the exit of turn 12. A bit weird place to retire. But no safety car. Is that his car going? Yes, that is his car going. Okay, so there is a reason why there's no safety car, is because of the fact that he just pressed the button. He spun and, well, rage quit. So yeah, the top 5 is pretty much alone. Marco is maybe getting a bit furious on Roggy that he's not letting his teammate through. He's not letting Marco through. So, I mean, Roggy has been defending a lot in this race from his teammate. Tsunami now goes into the pits. as well usual, stays within that 10 seconds, 80 kilometers an hour, or whatever it is, 50 miles per hour for the English, as John speeds in the pits as well. The two Mercedes switching places. Spinrada is in the lead. The two horses staying in 3rd and 4th position. Where is Tsunami gonna rejoin? I would be thinking. Great camera, I'm not gonna lie. Tsunami is gonna rejoin just about in front of Ibrahim. Actually, don't get sub aside. It's suboptimal. On the, I thought they were going actually sub aside into turn 4, but Tsunami had to back out of it. And so Ibrahim is in front of Tsunami. He's gonna maybe a bit slow down his teammate, but it is what it is. They do what they want. It's gonna be again a formation change, position change. Yes, that is gonna be a formation position change for the two Mercedes. They're really just working together. I think at this point in the race, Haas need to work with the two Mercedes as well. They can't battle with them too much, because then Tsunami will catch up a lot. Marco is thinking about an overtake on Rogge. They're not working together. I can tell you they're not working together. As Tsunami overtakes Ibrahim. Both of them come out in front of Shaz by quite a big margin, as it was before them three got into the pits. Actually, Shaz rejoins behind Tom and Dragon, and he's on the mediums now, so he's gonna do quite a lot of laps on the mediums. So maybe at the end of the race, those mediums could maybe fall off a bit. But anyways, I'm rather quite far back from Tig, because they're not gonna pit from this pack. No, they won't. They're just working together. Hopefully, the two Williams, the two horses will work together. Let's see if Pellegua and Bubinov pits. Pellegua stays out. Bubinov into the pits. And Bubinov, our 4th driver who gets caught out, actually 5th driver who gets caught out of the speedings, gets a 10-second time penalty, and that is Bubinov. 5 drivers have gotten 10-second time penalties for speeding in the pits. That's absolute madness. I mean, goddamn. The two McLarens are trying to work together. The gap to the top is 19.1 seconds from Tsunami, 18.9 seconds from Ibrahim. When you could just say 18.8 from Ibrahim, it's gonna be something like that in terms of pace. But the two McLarens should be able to catch up to the top, to the two Mercedes and the two Haas, as Marco goes into the pits for the undercut of all of them, stays inside of the track, the speed limit. Pellegua 3 seconds. Niklas as well pits. Pellegua into the pits. Is he gonna speed? No, he doesn't, thankfully. Of course, mediums for Marco. Where is he gonna rejoin? Behind the McLarens, as expected. But it's quite far behind that is gonna be. Behind Shaz as well, who pitted 2 laps earlier. Between Shaz and Tom. No really ideal for Marco. That's not gonna be really ideal for the top 3 either, because they will kind of know where Marco rejoins. And that is Tsunami in front of Marco by over 2 seconds. Actually 3 seconds, if that's gonna be close to 3 seconds. So yeah, that is kind of the reality of this kind of a strategy. But I mean, if the two McLarens are gonna work together the whole way like this, they can just pull away and Tsunami will be crowned champion. But of course, then the top 3 are gonna try and extend this stint, and then when they get mediums, they're gonna be absolutely flying the whole time, compared to the others that are on the hards, and as well compared to the ones that pitted early for those mediums. Marco overtook Shaz, now he gets re-overtaken by Shaz. The same thing in the two McLarens. But the two McLarens are a little bit losing time on the cars behind, as expected, since those mediums are a bit quicker through the corners. And so Shaz is within that DRS range of Ibrahim, which is good news for Marco. Shaz and Ibrahim have got 10 and 3 seconds, so I mean, he would really need to just overtake Shaz. Ibrahim is not gonna be an easy candy to break. That's not gonna be easy thing to break. Pirada pits in the meantime. But yeah, Ibrahim is not gonna be an easy candy to break. That's gonna be hard as a rock to beat. He's gonna, especially if that's gonna be Marco behind. If that's gonna be Marco behind, he's gonna be going for the most diabolical defense the world has ever seen. Worse than Max Verstappen, maybe even. But that's just you know, some sort of stuff that I'm imagining that could happen. Maybe in reality, it's not gonna be that bad of defense. Nicholas, 3 seconds. It's not gonna be that bad of a defense from Ibrahim, but it still could be like that. The top two, are they gonna pit? If not, then Roggy should be able to overtake Tig. Tig goes into the pits. Roggy stays out for yet another lap. It's a bit interesting from Roggy. Back to these 4 behind, actually 5, because Pirada gets that. Did he get the DRS? That was really close on the exit. Does he get it? Yes, he just got it. But of course, with the slipstream, he might be a bit loose. But again, now he's gonna gain a bit more time as all these 4 are fighting. Shaz and Tsunami a bit fighting into turns 1, 2, and 3. And Shaz in the lead of this, in the net race lead. And what the fuck is going on in here? Almost 4 wide. 3 wide between all these. Pirada behind has caught up. Tig is right behind this whole pack. Shaz in the lead in front of Tsunami. Ibrahim is gonna be defending from Marco like madness. Is Marco gonna go down inside into turn 8? No, he doesn't. Behind he's got Pirada, who's literally pushing him. He's literally pushing him like, go faster, mate. Go faster. Go send it down inside into turn 8 or turn 10. If not, then I'm gonna send it. He's right behind him. He's literally sniffing his back. As of right now, Roggy stays under that speed limit, thankfully. So the top 3 didn't get any sort of penalties. Marco already tries to overtake Ibrahim into turn 15 before we even start lap 25 out of 36, and he does get Ibrahim. In the rest of the pack, it's really confusing to really stay with this, as it's really just ping pong all this. Roggy, where will he rejoin in here? Is he gonna rejoin in front of his own teammate Marco, side by side with him? But he's got 4 lap fresher mediums. He's sending it down inside on his teammate. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Ibrahim is behind this whole pack. What the? These drivers are so close between each other. Tsunami is trying to stay in front of all of this. Shaz as well is trying to stay in front of all of this. Roggy with the latest stop out of everyone, as he's now pushed his teammate into the back of Tsunami. Pirada is now in front of the 2 horses while he's in front of the 2 horses. This is absolutely mint for Tsunami. This whole battle between the 2 horses and the 2 Mercedes and as well Ibrahim is benefiting him. Everything, it's benefiting him a lot. And as well, the internal fight between the 2 horses is absolutely mint to watch from Tsunami's point of view, as Roggy gets overtaken by Tig into turns 1 into a bit of wheel banging on the exit of turn 3. Ruggie, can he defend from Tig? Yes, he can. In front, there's Pimerada sending it down inside on Shaz. Can he get the position done? No, he can't. Shaz is on the inside and he gets in front of him. And he stays in P2. In the meantime, Tsunami overtook Shaz. Pimerada is sending it down inside into turn 8. And does it get him on the inside? Now on the inside is Shaz. This is absolutely perfect for Tsunami. All this fighting, all this wheel banging is absolutely perfect. Now there's Shaz sideways into turn 10. This is really weird to watch, and this is very confusing to follow. But this whole battle has Tom, Dragon, and Niklas to get themselves into the DRS of this whole train of cars. This is absolutely mental. With still 11 laps to go, there is so much potential in here that could happen. Pimerada goes into the lead. Ibrahim and Marco. Ibrahim gets behind Ibrahim. Tom is really trying to overtake Marco as well. As he has more ERS, he's sending it down inside into turn 4. Marco's trying to stay around the outside, but just cannot get it done around the outside. Marco's championship chances are going away in shambles. They are going away. This whole internal battle between himself and his teammate Ruggie, and whatever else the shit is happening in here is absolutely disastrous for him. I mean, of course, at this point in the race, he's not gonna be in P8. He's gonna be P6 because Ibrahim and Shaz have penalties, and that's gonna promote him up to P6. Tsunami, as of right now, is in P2. 18 points compared to 10 points, or 8 points. That's 10 points difference. The championship would go down into the mystery rounds, whatever it's gonna be. Ruggie would be out the Grand Prix, out the championship. Stig is trying to overtake Ruggie, but he's sandwiched between Tsunami and Tig. And Ruggie on the inside. Tig gets him around the outside and does get him around the outside. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure what you the whole sentence, what you did say, Lassie, but I saw that's something to do with Marco and losing the pace in quali, which I've been saying this the whole time since F1 22. He's had the same problem always, over and over and over, the same flipping problem as behind. Back to Marco. It seems like he got overtaken by Dragon. Now gets himself back up to P7, and he's going to be P5 after penalties on track. So yeah, Tig tries to overtake Tsunami. Does he get him? Yellow's behind that V car, maybe potential safety car. There isn't, yeah, at the moment. The Mercedes 1 and 2. I mean, yeah, that as well, but you know, there's still times that he just bottles it on his own due to lack of pace. There's still the times. There's Ollie and Reggie watching this as well in spectator mode. I mean, this is absolute madness. Felix now goes off the circuit. Maybe we could see a final, on the final laps, maybe we could see a safety car, and that would be, I don't know how would I be alive after that point. And John tries, a virtual safety car is deployed as Ruggie was about to overtake Tsunami. At least it looked like it. Only a VSC though, only a VSC. Imagine what could have happened with a full safety car. But this allows for everyone to recharge their ERS, calm down. Where's by the, oh Jesus Christ. Calm down. Oh, don't tell me that is going to increase to flipping full safety car. Michał drive through the penalty. Felix out the Grand Prix. Dragon pits for whatever reason. Michał's race is over pretty much. But yeah, recharge their ERS, what I'm trying to say, and get their race back into play. Yeah, Dragon pretty much destroyed his chances of getting any sort of points, let's say. Or did he have wing damage? Maybe he had wing damage. Maybe. But anyways, Mercedes 1 and 2 is back for the third time. We saw it in the sprint, we saw it in the beginning of the race. We see it again in the later stages of the Grand Prix. Rocky is going for it on Tsunami down inside into turn 10, and he did it successfully. Yeah, that needs to be studied. He was... Dragon had so much pace on F1 22. He was literally in an Alfa Romeo and he was doing crazy laps, but now just all of a sudden he's just so much pace. He's struggling. He's struggling on F1 24. His downfall really needs to be studied. But as in front, Rocky overtook Tsunami. Behind, Shaz doesn't have the DRS on Tsunami. This is absolutely perfect for Tsunami to gain some points on Marco. Again, this will be only P5 what Marco would get compared to Tsunami, who is in P4 as of right now. So it's not really perfect for Tsunami in terms of points gain, but this is still a points gain as Shaz lets through Ibrahim and Marco for whatever reason. Maybe the DRS games, but anyways, Marco up to P6, Ibrahim up to P5. And yeah. Anyways, this is still a points gain on Marco. So Tsunami won't... I mean, he won't do anything with that. He doesn't have the DRS though anymore. So now just Rocky can go for the race lead. Can go for the race win maybe for P2. But anyways, at this point in the race, he could be secured in that P3. As I said, Tsunami doesn't have the DRS. The two Mercedes will be working together, but maybe he can at first work together to run away from Tsunami and the rest of the pack, and then in the final laps go for it, full send it, risk it all, because he really has nothing to lose. At the moment, he has nothing to lose in terms of the championship. Although, to be fair, if he does take out himself and then Tig, then to be fair, it doesn't change anything because it's P4 and P5. Okay, it's one more point to Tsunami, okay? One more point to Tsunami. So, okay, it does change a little bit. Rocky has that fastest lap, so I'm not sure how it's gonna go with comeback and all that, but I think Tsunami is gonna knock out Rocky out of the championship. Yeah, because it was 30, then 27, and now it's gonna be 24. So yeah, no, actually, Rocky is still gonna be in the championship fight. Rocky now tries to go for the attack on Pimerada into turn 4 and does do it successfully. He's up into P2 on lap 32 out of 36, and now he's increasing his chances of winning this Grand Prix, and maybe he could win the Grand Prix, close in on Tsunami, and that would be the two Haas drivers, possibly on equal points, going into the final race of the season behind Tsunami, which would be around 16 points. I think, no, that would not be 16 points, because at the moment he's 21 points behind Rocky. Rocky is 21 points behind. Then that would mean, well, 21, that would be 20 because it's fastest lap, and then that would be 13 points. Marco is now 13 points behind, I believe, so that would mean 13, 16 points, so Rocky would be in front of Marco. As it is right now live, Rocky is going for the race win, but there's still few more laps to go in this Grand Prix. There still could be a lot different things to happen, and the two Mercedes could go in front of him. There could be as well that Marco is gonna overtake Tsunami. Now this part of the race, Marco would want to just overtake Tsunami and then Tsunami to get overtaken by Shaz, Ibrahim and Nicholas, but with this race, of course he's not getting overtaken by Ibrahim, But again, Shaz has got 3 seconds. Now it depends, can he get that 3 second off? Because I think he got that in one go. So then he could maybe remove it. And then Niklas got 3 seconds. It's really just all playing and all that. It's really just playing games, whatever. There's still so many things that can happen with 3 laps to go. As Tig overtakes Ruggy, and he's up to P1. As well, Marco overtakes Tsunami. And now officially, instead of losing positions to Tsunami, he's gonna gain 2 points on Tsunami. He would gain 3 points on Tsunami like this. Tsunami is catching up to Marco quite a bit. But both of them are pretty low amount of VRS. Marco has just a tiny bit more of VRS. I think just at 5% more of VRS at this point. Pelligua 3 seconds. But honestly, at this point in the race, it does not fucking matter. It does not matter. The only thing that matters in this race is the top drivers. Ruggy has got the youngest mediums out of the top 10. And really, I should say the top 3. Because the top 10 doesn't really matter for this battle anymore. Unless they're gonna go absolute shambles, absolute flipping 3 wide. And then all are gonna get contact. All 3 of them go off the circuit. And then Marco and Tsunami and everyone behind are gonna catch up like crazy. Ruggy goes for the overtake on Tig. Pimerada behind, close with Tig. And maybe Pimerada could lose a bit of time through the first sector, let's say. But yeah, if we're talking about if we are talking about amount of ERS, then Ruggy is all secured. He's got 90% of ERS compared to Tig, who's got 70, and compared to Pimerada, who's got 50%. So Ruggy has an upper hand in terms of the ERS. At the moment, he could be closing in on Tsunami to just be 10 points behind. I think that would be 10 points behind. Or would be 12. I can't remember. It's something close in like 12, 11, 10, 13. Somewhere around there that would be. Somewhere anyways close with his teammate Marco. Ruggy, can he defend his P1 going into turn 1, going into the final lap? I don't think so. Tig has got the DRS and the run, and Tig takes the Grand Prix lead. Going into turn 1 on the final lap. Tsunami as well overtakes Marco, but it's really just strategical let's through. Tsunami of course will try and run away from Marco. Ruggy overtakes Tig into turn 1, but here Tig's got 40% compared to Ruggy, who's got 20% of ERS. He's got only 20%. Tig's got 20% more than Ruggy. So Tig is pretty much safe in terms of ERS. He just needs to keep it close behind Ruggy, and he's gonna be all set and through for the race win to the final straight. Is it gonna be Ruggy winning his first Grand Prix since it seems like it's forever, or was it since round 12? I can't remember. Or will it be Tig winning yet another round? Behind there's Marco overtaking Tsunami, but for the race lead, I think it's gonna be Tig overtaking Ruggy on the line. And yes, it is. Tig wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Ruggy P2, Pimerada P3. In here behind the 2 title fighters. Marco, is he gonna be in front of Tsunami? Yes, he is in front of Tsunami by 14,000 of a second. Marco just about gets it in front of Tsunami and closes in on Tsunami. Niklas P6 as well, 35,000 in front of Shaz. Tom P8, Ibrahim P9 after his 10-second penalty, Pelligua P10, Bubinov P11, Dragon P12, Mihal P13, Waldscat P14. Oh my goodness me, that was madness. Oh yeah, that was absolute madness. That was absolute madness. I'll say it again, that was absolute madness. Yeah, Tig, another masterclass from him. 32 points. The Mercedes absolute dominance in this Grand Prix. Yeah, Ruggy is gonna close in to Toonami by 12 points, so that's gonna be 18 points behind Toonami. Marco closes in on Toonami by 3 points, so the 13-point gap is going to reduce to 10, or was it 15, which reduces to 10? I don't flipping remember. But it is going to be a three-way battle for the championship in the final race. Like I said in the beginning, the two Mercedes, absolute masterclass. 32 points and 23 points between the two. That's going to be 55 points between them. Absolute masterclass from them. Absolute masterclass. And I think as well we can say that the Haas have secured the constructors as they have outscored the McLarens. McLarens needed to outscore the two Haases by quite a lot, but in the end it is the two Haases that extend on the two McLarens, and the two pair of Haas, Marco and Ruggy, have got at least one championship secured, and that is the constructors. And yeah, thanks McLussie. Marco 11 points behind Toonami, and like I said, Ruggy behind Toonami by 18 points. So I mean, still, yeah. So still, Ruggy still got that chance for the championship, but it's going very minimal. He will need basically a P1. He will need to win the next mystery round, which whatever it's gonna be. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be there. Sad music playing. Kind of was wishing that it would have been in here done, but yeah. Next week I'm not gonna be there, unfortunately. 7 behind Toonami. How? He was 30 points behind. He got 12 points back. What? What? Oh, for Christ's sake. Damn. He gains 11 points. But yeah, next week is gonna be mystery rounds. Like I said, unfortunately, me not there. So, yeah. And as well for tier 1, I'll say this already, that I'm not gonna be there for tier 1 the whole flipping weekend. I'm gonna be flipping in Poland for someone's birthday. But anyways, yeah, like I said, next week is going to be mystery rounds. Mystery round, whatever it's gonna be. It's been Bahrain, I don't flipping know. But yeah, from me, that's the end of the season, I guess. And yeah, see you from my side at least in the next season. Ciao.